Hello, I'm Katie, and this is another episode of Breaking Walls and Closing Cupboards. It is now not the Christmas series, but I'm going to be talking a bit about a body image issue that I've come across recently. Well, not just recently, but for a while now. And I'm going to start the story with a post that I saw on a girl named Ally / Ally Sheehan's Tumblr a few days ago, and this was the question that an anonymous user had asked, and they had said, "Do you have a thigh gap?" Which is a question I'm sure Ali has received plenty of times in the past, but this is the most recent occasion. And Ali's answer was, "Who cares?" And then in the tags she said, "No offence, but why would that matter? And then would it change how you saw me?" And it wouldn't change how I saw her. I don't know if it would change how other people saw her, but this is a topic that I want to approach. And as my source material, I have an article that I was going to write for a blog called Verbal Remedy, but I haven't managed to submit it yet. But I have. It's about 1.5 pages in length to read, and I'm going to just express how I felt about the term thigh gap. Me and my thigh gap. In January, I attended a friend's birthday party. We were supposed to bring different teas and crafts to share. I brought a Christmas cake flavour tea and a pattern to make cards. One of my friends had found a pattern to make a stuffed cat out of old socks, and so we were all trying to make that at one point. One of the other girls commented that her stuffed cat was going to have a big thigh gap than she'll ever have. I don't remember what I'd said in reply to that, but another girl, who was several years older than me, said something to me along the lines of, "You have a thigh gap, you're skinny." It's not the first time that I've been told that I have a thigh gap, a space between your inner thighs that are visible when you stand with your feet together, and could be considered to be skinny. 2 years ago, at another birthday party, 2 girls who were nearly 2 years younger than me also made a comment about my thigh gap and how I would look good wearing jeans. Yes, it's true that I have a thigh gap. At its widest part, I think I can stick 2 fingers through it. If I am sitting on a chair with my knees hugged to my chest, I could quite easily drop my phone through my thigh gap. This is something that has happened before. I also have quite thick thighs, and I definitely don't have a flat stomach. Whenever I have a huge meal, my tummy sticks out, and I feel super full, and I get scared of gaining weight. For the past 8 years of my life, since I was about 13, I've been told by a family member that I should watch my weight and BMI, body mass index. I have been questioned whether or not I should eat that ice cream, and as a 13-year-old on a school trip in the USA, I had peers asking me if I wanted to look like a beached whale, a term associated with being overweight, when visiting beaches in Los Angeles and when I was eating the croutons accompanied my salad. I weighed myself every day and I dreaded gaining weight. I first heard of thigh gaps when I was about 16 years old. I didn't think I had one at the time, and had searched online for steps on how to achieve this seemingly celebrated thigh gap. Probably a combination of weight loss and specific exercises, sometimes including extreme and unhealthy weight loss, would probably be how to achieve it. But at the age of 18 or 19, I did realise that I do indeed already have a thigh gap, and I often just wonder why it's there. Thigh gaps, on the whole, are a result of individual bone structure. So if you have, I think, wider hips and your upper leg bones, the femurs are wide set apart, it might be easier for you to obtain that thigh gap. I don't know how entirely it works. So 2 women of similar height and weight, but one with wider hips and wider set femurs may have a thigh gap, while another with smaller hips and smaller set femurs may not. So that's, I think, how it works. In Everyday Sexism, which is this book, it's really good, you should all read it, which is by Laura Bates and was published in 2014. The section called Girls, if I can find it. Girls, right, I found the chapter now. The section called Girls is headed by the quote, "If you don't have a thigh gap, you need to get a thigh gap," which the need is actually exaggerated in capital letters, and it's by a 14-year-old schoolgirl interviewee who said that, so that's actually what it says. On the next page, the UK All-Party Parliamentary Group on Body Image report, which was from 2012, says that by the age of 14, half of girls have been on a diet to change their shape. And also in this chapter, it says girls as young as 5 are worrying about their weight. 87% of teenage girls are unhappy with their body shape. 1 in 3 girls aged 16 to 18 have experienced unwanted sexual touching at school. Right, that's not relevant to what I was wanting to say, but I'm saying about the body image part. 87% of teenage girls are unhappy with their body shape, and I was one of those teenage girls from the age of 13 onwards, and even now at 21 I'm still struggling with this a bit, but I'm trying to learn to deal with it now. So getting back to what I was saying in my article, horrifying as I found these quotes, they rang true to me. By the age of 14 I was already weighing myself all the time, dreaded gaining weight, and was skipping my school lunch sandwich every day, habits that stayed with me for over 6 years. When I originally read these quotes in Everyday Sexism, one of my female second cousins on my mum's side of the family was 14 years old. Around the same time as this, my dad received a Fitbit for his birthday in his efforts to lose weight, and he was already going everywhere and talking about his Fitbit weight loss and exercises. Even so, last year would have been probably 6-7 years since I first started worrying about my body and how I felt about it. So I never told him about my history of anxiety about my body and weight, and so he wasn't going to make any adjustments to his behaviour to accommodate how I felt about it. And now that I have mentioned it, he still hasn't made any adjustments. Like today, he's talking about how many steps he's done, which is something that I don't need to hear all the time. A short time after that, we were due to attend a family party with my mum's side of the family. I genuinely felt like I needed to protect my second cousin, who I mentioned earlier, who is now 15 years old, from the negativity that my dad's discussion of weight loss would bring to the party. I don't want her to ever have to go through what I felt, and I don't want my younger female second cousins, ages 4 years and less than 6 months old, to go through that either when they reach their teenage years. Hopefully, we will have created a world by then. 2026 to 2030 was when they'll reach their teenage years, where body diversity will be celebrated, and diet culture, thigh gaps, and the media's obsession with our bodies will be a thing of the past. This is why I'm now wary of having a thigh gap as a 21-year-old woman. I feel like I don't deserve one. I've not acquired a thigh gap through weight loss or dieting and exercising. I weigh the same now as I did when I was 14 years old. Me having a thigh gap is probably more attributed to my bone structure. I have wide hips, therefore I am never going to be able to fit into a UK size 10 jeans or whatever, and my knees meet in the middle. But this is my body, and I am learning to be okay with it. So that was the article that I'd drafted for Verbal Remedy on how I felt about having a thigh gap. And it's not, I don't believe that it's a relevant thing to be asking somebody, do they have a thigh gap? I think Ali was right to be saying, who cares? It doesn't make her a more worthy person. You don't become less worthy if you don't have a thigh gap. I know that a couple of years ago there was some kind of trend in China to be able to put your one arm around your body, and if you go to the all the way around, that's a sign of being skinny, and it's just really strange. It's not healthy, and that's just what I really want to teach people, to be okay with the body that they have, and treat it well, eat healthily, exercise healthily. You can still do all those things and be comfortable with your body, even if you don't do those things. Just don't think that having a thigh gap is a big thing. I think that's just all I want to say. So that's now bye from me, which is strange. Bye.